Would you be short the yen or short the euro first?
Euro.
Euro.
Yen looks like it could be entering some kind of a bull market, and that's just a signal. Obviously, we can talk about these things fundamentally, but again, whether or not Draghi, you kind of have a free option on Europe because whether it's Thursday, the market's kind of saying today that it's not going to happen Thursday, so make sure that you're positioned accordingly. And in as much as you're positioned with the full embrace of uncertainty, because we have no idea what Draghi's going to say on Thursday. He could devalue, or he could say that I'm laying the groundwork to devalue, which both would be pretty dovish, one more dovish than the other, but he could also say that everything's rainbows and puppy dogs in Europe, which it's not. And that would obviously have currency implications. But the reason why, Darius, I picked the euro on that answer, and you may agree or disagree, is because it looks to me that the Europeans are more likely to act incrementally on the margin before the Japanese do.
Yeah, certainly. If you go back to that first chart, Josephine, in my slide deck. So again, what you're showing in that, you can just pull it all the way up on the screen. What we're showing in this chart is if you look over to the far right of that weighted average, the euro, the lower those bars are, at least the lower the percentile rankings are, the higher the probability that the central bank acts. So certainly, from the perspective of this analysis, the euro the ECB is much more likely to act and sooner than the BOJ, and that was certainly the case. If you go back to the January 22nd, refresh of this model as well.
Yep, and it's a really important teaching point. Darius, we talk a lot in meetings. We've been on the road, it feels like forever. I'm finally going to get back to the office for the first day in a week and a half right now. But it's really important. If you only remember one thing when you're trading currencies or trying to risk manage central planning, really, really, really important, critical to always position for the next most incremental actor in the currency war. Who is getting most dovish next? And that was really the key on this dollar trade into that jobs report or the U.S. data slowing. The Fed was. Now the Fed's maybe not the most incremental. Maybe they will be if you get continued economic weakness like we think it's going to be, or it's going to be Europe. Again, getting ahead of the most incremental mover is the most important part.
Absolutely. Can't stress that enough. That's exactly why we built the model that way.